Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical, and I just had a buddy of mine drop me off in the middle of the wilderness down here in the 10,000 Islands, okay? I am down here in the 10,000 Islands, Florida, all right? I'm gonna try and show you guys how maybe we can signal for a plane. There's a plane going ahead above me right now. I don't know, I'll swing over here. Maybe you guys can see the plane, maybe not. But how would I signal for this plane? How would I survive in this situation, okay? I'm completely surrounded by sea and thousands, more than 10,000. This is called the 10,000 Islands, but there's more than 10,000 little island chains out here. And I'm gonna show you guys how to survive. I'm gonna show you the gear that you should have with you when you're out boating, the gear that you should have in your car, okay? What gear you should carry, and not only am I gonna show you what gear you need, I'm gonna teach you how to use it, okay? I'm gonna very briefly teach you how to use it. These are all skills that you should be practicing yourself, but I'm out here. If I had a medical emergency, guys, I have no kind of, nothing to save me. I have only the gear that I brought with me. It's all gear, very minimal, that's been packed, pre-packed already, okay? I just sent up this little tube tent, Mylar tube tent, because it's gonna get very cold tonight, but I've got only the gear that I've got available to me in this bag right here, okay? And this bag is sold as a unit, okay? Survival bag. These two bags, this is the mini right here, okay? And then this is the larger one right here behind me. And I'm gonna rough it out here, survive on only the gear in these bags, and take you guys really just on this adventure with me. If something happens and they never find this footage, it's really gonna be a shame, because I'm going all out for you guys. It's risky, it's dangerous, but I'm gonna make this happen, and I'm gonna try and share what little bit of survival skills that I have with you guys. And the first thing is setting up the tent. The first thing I did when I got to this little island, I got dropped off here by a buddy in the middle of nowhere. It's simulating basically being stranded in the worst possible conditions. I'm surrounded by seawater, all right? And all I had was the survival bag that I will link in the description below, the survival products that I'm using. So if you read the video description, you will be able to go and see what products, and you can look a little further into them. But this tent was really easy to set up, all right? It's very easy to set up. Comes in this little bag right here that I've got, okay? This little tiny orange bag comes in both of these bags, all right? Again, that's all I have. I'm out here, this is all the gear that I have, but comment below if you guys think you know what I'm gonna do next, because the first thing I did was set up the tent. So now I have shelter. It's gonna get very cold tonight. It's gonna get below 40 degrees. And I'm actually here in one of the hottest environments in the United States. Okay, way down in South Florida, but it's winter time. So it's gonna get cold. And if I was wet and had just been, washed up, swam up here from a broken down boat or something like that, I could very possibly get hypothermia and die if I didn't have one of these tube tents, okay? And this tube tent, what the big deal with this is, all right, it's Mylar, all right? It's a Mylar tube tent, and I can jump in here, all right? Let me see if I can show you guys the inside of this tube tent here. I'm gonna try and do everything vlog style. So I can crawl in here if I was wet and freezing, and that would literally save my life. This tube tent behind me would literally save my life. I used only items that I found here on the beach right around me to set it up, as well as items that come here in the bag that's sitting right next to me. So again, comment below if you guys think you know what I'm gonna do next, but we've got shelter out of the way. What's next in the survival setup? So we've built the tent here. That's gonna be a great signal device, all right? Bright orange tent. Also keeps us warm when it gets cold tonight. We are now going to build a fire, and another thing that you can do as far as signaling is you can build trenches on the beach out here where it says help, okay? Put the letters HELP, and then we're going to keep our small fire going the whole time, and if a boat or a plane gets close, we can make a small torch or something like that, and then transfer the fire over to our letters where we can set ablaze the help letters, okay? Or put a big signal fire on the beach that we keep out of commission, all right? I just started a fire a little while ago, and and the GoPro glitched on me. Okay, so I'm out here with my GoPro trying to do some fires, get these fires going. I'm gonna do it all over again. So basically what we've got going here is we've got a few different kinds of tinder, but I'm gonna start with a tinder bundle, okay, tinder bundle, which is gonna be my small, really small, basically really lightweight, a lot of surface area, so I'm gonna break it up, very dry tinder. Then I'm gonna go larger and larger sticks, and that's how we get the fire started. I am going to use my fire starter, okay? So I'm gonna bunch this up into a ball, all right? I'm gonna have my EDC Relentless, stick this down into the hole, okay? And then I'm going to try and get some sparks going here. Once I get this smoke and burning, these sparks are kind of catching in here, but hasn't turned into a flame yet. So once I get it turned into a flame, by blowing on it, I will start placing in some of the larger tinder, some of the sticks, and then go just larger and larger logs from there. So the GoPro, I had, like I said, I had some glitching issues. This is kind of smoldering under here, and that light grass is gonna go up any second. But the tent that I put up here, I'm not sure whether the camera was able to grab that or not, because when I was reviewing the footage, it didn't look like it was able to grab that. So this tent's very simple. It's a tube tent. It comes with the cord already in it. You just string it out. You string the cord in between two trees, as you can see, as you've already seen here behind me. And then from there, basically, you just can, any kind of rocks or trees or anything that you've got around you, you can kind of just load up into the tent here. And that'll keep it from blowing around if there's high winds like there are today. Now all I got to do is be sure to feed this fire, and we're on top of it. So we set up a shelter to regulate our body heat. That was very easy. Came with our survival shelter tube tent that was in the bag, ready to go. We have started a fire also to regulate body heat and with the ability to cook food, as well as both things are signal devices that can help save us if we're out here stranded on an island. Okay, so what do you guys think is next? If you said food and water, you're probably right. I don't really want to have to go scavenge right now. So luckily, my food was in my bag. It was already cooked and it was ready to go. So was my water. Both of these come with the survival bag that I sell on my website, but you're going to want to have some kind of skills as far as understanding that the most important things are how to start a fire. So you should be practicing starting primitive fire, okay? You should have fire starting gear in your small bag, packed away in all your vehicles, one in each vehicle. You should have something like this tube tent that can be used as a signal device and also regulate body heat, all right? If I need to boil water, I can boil water in my flask, okay? So a metal water container is always a good idea. I can have meals that I have to cook, but I'd rather not. That's why I sell these, and that's why I include my, well, I don't even need the knife to open it, but these last for 10 years in just about any conditions. They'll be in your bag for 10 years, and there's really quite no dinner as good as one that you can just pop open and eat when you're hungry. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So, you need to have some primitive fire skills, something you should be practicing on how to start a fire, so you have a little bit of an understanding of how to start a fire if you need to. Have an awareness of where you're at in the country or in the world, what the temperatures and the weather conditions may be like, and be prepared for the weather conditions. also have a basic knowledge of things that you can do, like lay inside of a Mylar tube tent to regulate your body heat if you need to warm yourself up, or if you're out there and it's hot, know what you can do to cool yourself down. Finally, I have a knowledge of some food sources that you can have. I can also go around this island and scavenge for crabs. I can fish, okay? I can eat local, wild plants. I can forage for local wild plants and berries and things of that nature that may be out here. So food and water. I can use that as a tarp as well to catch rainwater behind me. I can purify water. And I can collect morning dew. All right, I can create a lot of different things that will help me collect water that's ambient water and that's in the air in the form of humidity. So being able to have water and food is right there up with shelter and signal devices in an emergency situation like this. Ooh, all right, guys, good morning. It was a cold night last night. I just crawled out of the shelter and made a little fire. So warmed up my hands a little bit. I'll tell you what, these gloves that were in the bag were a lifesaver. I can't even talk. Ooh. So I'll crawl back in the shelter because the shelter and the gloves, they really were unbelievable. I'm not even kidding. This is Mylar, this shelter. So let me see if I can't use this light to light myself up a little bit as I'm crawling through here so you guys can see a little better. But this shelter is Mylar. What that does is it reflects like 90, close to 100% of your body heat, and simulating a shipwreck situation or a stranded at sea situation, even in an area like this that's known to be one of the hottest areas in the United States. We're in South Florida, very, 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 very South Florida. And guys, it almost froze tonight. It's the beginning of January 2021, and I don't know when I'll get this video up, but you guys can check the weather for South Florida yourself. It was so cold, guys. Everybody told me, don't do it. Don't go out there. Don't test out your survival gear under really legitimately harsh conditions, because, you never know what's going to happen. Well, guys, I'm testing it out, and I'll tell you what, regulation of body heat is so important. And then as you fall asleep, and then you can even see right now, my breath is still fogging up. It's so cold, okay? And as you are sleeping, your body naturally loses some of that heat that it creates basically as you're moving around. So your naturally generated body heat. And if I were to go to sleep out here, if I was wet, I 100% would have died last night. And if I were to go to sleep out here and it hit freezing temperatures, guys, even in my Mylar bag, even in this Mylar tube tent, I was so cold that I didn't want to move. I didn't want to get outside of the bag to go use the restroom. Okay, nothing. I didn't want to get outside of this tube tent. Okay, I didn't want to get outside of this tube to do absolutely anything. So imagine if I was actually stranded, or if I didn't have this, I may have just gone to sleep, fell into hypothermia, and just never got back up again. So Guys, it's so important. And a tube tent like this, it's basically something you can just crawl into. You don't even have to set it all the way up, okay? All I did, it comes with the string that you see right here, okay? All I did was run that string through 2 trees, and then I took this is some sort of natural coral and conch shells, and just, here's a conch shell over here, an old conch shell that I found, and I just set this stuff on the floor of this tent to kind of create a little shelter for myself. So definitely something, guys, that you're going to want to be aware of. And so you guys saw that I regulated my body temperature. The fire gave myself the ability to cook and clean water. I've been maintaining and regulating that fire. Okay, the fire could be a signal device. I could have a bigger fire set up over on the beach, even with the letters HELP, H-E-L-P. I could make myself a torch that's like basically tinder inside of the end of a split log, so I can run over there if I need to and transfer fire from my small fire that I keep going here. A little tip with the fire is to get really big logs, but don't break them up. Just lay them across the fire. That way only the middle part of the log will burn, and then you can just push it a little bit further back into the fire as it goes. You don't want to build a big blazing fire because then you'll burn up all your firewood, but you can have a big firewood storage that you load up on the beach for the likelihood of when a plane goes by, okay, or even better, when a boat comes close and you can try and signal that person. Again, this tent is orange on the outside, so it's a signal device as well. And so a couple other things, like I said, those gloves come in the bag, and those were lifesavers. I couldn't have got out of here to get my fire going back up this morning if I wasn't able to put those gloves on. Another big thing is this headlamp. So I will show you guys. I don't know how much you'll be able to see because the sun's finally just starting to come up. I'll turn this headlamp on red mode. Let me know if you guys can see this or not, but I wore this and was able to see what was going on. If something goes thump outside and I don't want to lose my night vision, I can hit that left side button. That's the red light button. So I'm in here sleeping and a raccoon goes by, for example, like what happened last night. Raccoons out here screwing around and I hit that and, oh, just a raccoon, okay. And then I'm able to turn that red light off. But this is the tube tent, guys. I'm gonna shimmy on out of here. Oh man, I can already feel it starting to get cold as soon as I get out of this little tube tent. It's really just amazing the technology that we have these days to be able to make something like this Mylar tent. Let me shimmy on out of here, and I'm not gonna try and talk and do all this crawling around at the same time. So excuse me for a second. That's what I woke up to. Again, it's cold. I really want to put my gloves back on or go sit over by this fire, but look at this beautiful view, guys, would you? Look at that. Absolutely beautiful view to wake up to. The sun's coming up on the other side of this little island right here. I don't know if you guys can see through there, but there's actually woods right there. Right here. And water on the other side. Excuse me, there's actually water on the other side of these woods. Hey guys, it's morning on the deserted island in the middle of the ocean that I'm out here on. I've lost track of actually how long I've been here at this point. Tired, okay, obviously sleeping conditions haven't been ideal, but what's important is that I'm alive. I've been able to regulate my body temperature. I'm gonna do a little scouting. I'm gonna see what we have out here. I was able to start a fire so I can check these little tide pools around me. I can find crabs. There's all kinds of little places to find crabs. There's gonna be, in the real small ones, I can create a spear, and there will be little fish and stuff like that that got trapped in here when the tide goes out. Very important to scout the island at low tide, so I can create traps. Okay, I will sit down here and show you and talk you through some of the other stuff that I've got in this bag. We've already talked about a lot of the stuff, regulating body heat. One thing I haven't mentioned, creating a shelter, doing a signal device, regulating body heat. We've talked all that. One thing I haven't mentioned is the ability to, what we would say, conserve calories, okay? So I want to do the minimum. I can create a spear. I can go slowly through and create a spear. This comes with the bag as well. If I had to create a spear with this, I definitely could. You guys have seen me batoning, okay? I use this to help start the fire as well. You guys have seen me batoning wood with that in other survival videos. but it would be a whole lot easier with either the bushcraft spear or the Bloody Bill Bowie, okay? Both of those are gonna make much shorter work of any kind of creating a spear or something like that. But I will talk you through the bag here and the contents of the bag, what we have in the bag, why it's in there, and what we need it for and what we can do with it. Okay, again, guys, Bone Tactical survival bag available at bonetactical.com. I pulled the headlamp out of there. Gloves came in there. Both of these things last night were indispensable. The EDC Relentless knife came out of the bag as well. This Shimag wasn't included in the bag itself, but it comes with the Bloody Bill Bowie, and it comes with the Bone Tactical Tomahawk, okay? Any of the Tomahawks or breachers come with it. We've got the survival band. So if I am navigating myself around this island, now that's what I'm doing, and I don't want to actually pull out my full-size compass, I can just stick this here on my wrist, and it gives me cordage. I can go around here and set traps. We're talking about low-calorie ways to catch animals. There's raccoons all over the place out here. I've seen the tracks, so I can set some snares. I can take this off. There's 7 strands of nylon inside the wrapper, so I can use the small strands to set snares for birds. Okay, I've noticed several birds' nests. They're ospreys, so they are protected species, and I definitely can't do anything to mess with them in any way. But if I was dying out here, I could set a snare in the osprey trap and eat that to survive. It would be something that I would have to do even after. It would probably take me a week without eating to get to the point where I would do anything like that to eat an osprey. I don't even know if I could do something like that, but that's an example. So we talked already about signaling, okay? We talked a little bit about fire. This has a fire starter. This bracelet has a fire starter in it as well. So you've got 2 of everything that's super important in the bag. You've got 2 fire starters. We talked about signaling, fire starting to regulate body heat. Signaling, okay, so we've got a signal whistle on here. But right now what I'm doing is I'm navigating around this island. If I set traps, I want to remember where they're at, which side of the island. I might even write that down if I have a pen and paper, or if I have some way to write something down, then I'm gonna write that down. But now I know that, okay, so this is the north end. Okay, this is north over here. If I wasn't watching the sun come up, I would know that the sun is gonna rise. If it was nighttime, I know the sun's gonna rise over here. The sun's already starting to come up over here, so I know the compass is correct. This is east over here. That's great to have. The Mylar tube tent did so well to promote body heat. It's just absolutely unbelievable. If I were to get a cut out here or something like that, especially there's oysters all over the place out here, and if I were to slip and fall or touch an oyster, or even trying to eat an oyster, you can eat them, but if I cut myself cleaning them, they have a bacteria inside them that's very tough. I can use these wet wipes to clean myself so I don't get an infection that could end up getting in my bloodstream and killing me. All right, so that's something important to think about. If I have to go to the bathroom, all right, I don't have to use leaves. I can use this. If I want to wake up in the morning and just clean myself, do under the armpits, you know, in the areas that get the most dirty, down in where your underwear are, do a little swab and clean yourself keep up personal hygiene. You can do all that. Again, we've got a water purifier, water filter. I do have a water bottle as well, so I'm boiling water is what I'm doing, because there's going to be little tide pools. And then now during the daytime, what I can do, I can wake up before the sun comes up, set my tarp out, my Mylar tent out, and collect dew, and then I can boil that if I feel like I need to, or I can just go around to the little interior parts of the island where find rainwater, collect rainwater, and then boil that. So out here, I can even boil water and try and get the salt out of it. There are ways to desalinate water, but I'm not going to try and do that unless I really need to. All right, but you can't drink any of this salt water around here. I wouldn't recommend trying to use a water purifier to get the salt content out of the water, but what you can do is you can purify water and then reconstitute a little bit of salt water into it. And that's basically like drinking Gatorade, but you have to get those ratios right. Again, super important. If I got injured, it's like 121 piece, something like that, first aid kit. Do have my first aid kit in the bag, antiseptic wipes, alcohol wipes, all that stuff if it's a real serious injury. We've got, this bag is just loaded down with goodies. You guys know that. So if I really want to start plotting and letting people know, you know, different locations, if I'm in a group or something like that, if we want to keep track of where everything is, I do have a full-size compass in here. I'll show you that in a second. Let me make sure I don't have anything else important here in this main compartment. We talked already about the whistle, okay? And the fire, we talked already about the whistle and the fire starter. This is the primary ferrocerium rod, okay? I said magnesium earlier, I think. I do apologize for that. I am out here actually doing it. I'm on a calorie deficit. I normally eat really well. I'm not eating a whole lot of food. I'm doing the whole survival thing, so forgive me if I say anything wrong, but this is a ferrocerium rod. They call them ferro rods, all right? And it just creates a spark. You guys have seen that already. But I've got one on the bracelet, which you just saw, and then one here. 2 whistles, one on the bracelet, one there, okay? Whistles that are specifically designed for signaling if I get lost or something like that. Let me check these other compartments in here. All right, headlamps. Package for the headlamp, it's rechargeable. Of course, that doesn't help me much if I'm out here, but it is fully rechargeable headlamp. I've got this is a map compass. It's a full-size designated compass. It's the exact same compass the military uses, okay? So it's a military style, it's a military compass. It's a military map compass, marching compass, whatever you want to call it. If I wanted to get out here and really plot specific points, we have stairs here, Group A is here, Group B is here. If I wanted to do some serious land navigation, plot out the island. If I had papers with me, I could draw the chart so we could actually know, okay, if we're talking about conserving calories, all right, we know that we found a freshwater source here. We want to, what's the easiest way to get there that I don't have to chop through a lot of brush? You can draw a little map of the island, all kinds of stuff like that, and chart it out. You can do any kind of charting with that full-size compass. So some other stuff that we have in here, some stuff that I recommend throwing in the bag would be something like one of these buffs. I don't put them in there because they're sold. These are actually sold. You see one on my head right now, but it's a buff face mask, can be worn. Coronavirus, you can wear one of these for going in the store if you have to go in the store and masks are required. I don't sell these because they're sold through YouTube, but if you are watching this video on YouTube right now, you can just scroll down to the bottom section of any of these videos and you can buy one. They're sold through an independent company, but it does give you the chance to get those if you want one. A huge deal that is, I have not seen these in any survival or bug out bag yet from anybody else, but I guarantee you they'll start putting them in there because they see me doing it and they're so important, and everybody in this industry is kind of like watching me to show you guys what's needed and what's going on and to learn, and then they all try and copy my stuff. Of course, nobody's going to be able to get it this good to a bag that's so versatile, so awesome, can be out here in the wilderness and still be used as camouflage if you need to go cover in concealment mode, but also looks good in the city, a nice stylish bag that's not going to draw attention to you for having, if you do want to carry a firearm or something like that in your bag, it's not going to scream like, hey, I'm tactical, nothing like that. So that's why a bag like this that doesn't have the MOLLE webbing all over it and all that stuff is so important, because it can literally be used anywhere and allow you to be the gray man. If you guys want to see more about survival, escape, and evasion in the wilderness, I've got a playlist here on that. If you want to see more about gray man theory or being the gray man, I've got a playlist here on that. But comment below if you think you know why these blister plasters are so important. Guys, they're so important because what happened? Okay, I was out here boating, fishing, whatever the case may be. When you get stranded, when you get lost, you get in a car accident, and you keep one of these bags in your car, even one of the smaller ones. You get in a car accident, your car breaks down in a remote area when you're driving from me living in Florida to college in Alabama. Well, you break down in some little stretch of Texas, Alabama, anywhere out in the Midwest where there's nothing out there. There's no cell phone service. What do? Well, you got to walk. Okay, well, your lifestyle, 90% of the people reading this don't walk 5 miles a day. They don't walk 10 miles a day. They don't walk 15 miles a day. They may walk 1 mile a day, 2 miles a day. 90% of the people watching this video. So what does that mean? That means you're going to get blisters, okay? Your feet are going to get all messed up. And if it's a survival situation and you get blisters on day one, you're screwed. You're going to, they can get infected. Now you can't walk anywhere for a week. You can't get food for yourself, and you can die just because you got blisters. And now you're no longer mobile. Okay, so something really big to think about. I recommend putting these on as soon as you get in that situation. You break your bag out, you go through the stuff, you formulate a plan, and you put the blister plasters on right away. Because you know you've got blisters before. That one time where you had to do a lot of walking, you got blisters. Where that one time you went camping with your buddies, hiking, whatever, and you got blisters, you're going to get blisters in the same place every time. Probably the back of your heel, all right? And then wherever you get blisters, put these on and prevent them before they happen. If they do happen, as soon as you start getting them, put it on as soon as possible, and the blisters will actually heal under this, and it will protect it from getting infected as well. So super, super important. Now I'm out here scouting this island. In my particular situation, you know, I would be out here fishing, okay? So standing on a boat all day for weeks at a time, days at a time, whatever. If it's my lifestyle of fishing, I don't walk. I'm standing on the boat. I'm driving the boat. Now, the boat broke down. I'm out here stranded on an island, which is the scenario, and I have to walk all over the place. So that's a prime example of why you may need these blister plasters. Let me know what you guys want to see more of in this video. I'm gonna go around here, go around the island. I've kind of talked you through a lot of this stuff, and I'll walk around and I'll try and show you guys some more stuff. If you want to see anything in particular, let me know. Thanks for watching. Well, guys, looks like I survived. I made it. Captain Hand happened to be out fishing around my way, and always vigilant to stranded refugees on island beaches. He saw me and was able to pick me up. So about to get a good day fishing out of the deal anyway. Thanks for watching. Bone out.